The government of Malaysia announced a movement control order starting on Wednesday the 18th of March 2020, lasting until the 31st of March. This was basically a lockdown, with only essential stores like food and pharmacies allowed to operate. All religious services or gatherings have been cancelled. You are only allowed out to get food and medicine. COVID-19 posters and banners have appeared in public places. The announcement was made late on the 16th so that people had time to prepare. I visited a major supermarket on the 17th to stock up and found it very full of shoppers, and the shelves were denuded of many vital supplies such as meats, bananas, bread, and eggs. On the 20th of March, I visited a major supermarket chain in the neighborhood mall nearby where I am staying. The mall was basically closed with many stores shuttered. All the restaurants had been hastily converted to takeout only. People were social distancing. The supermarket was disorganized, with major blank spots on the shelves, despite their notices claiming that they were working with suppliers to get stock. There were no bananas, little meat, no eggs, and strangely enough, no canned pasta sauces, which were all sold out. The next week, I again visited my local Jaya Grocer supermarket chain and found that things had become better organized. There was now a lineup to get in. With only 5 people at a time admitted after 5 people had exited so that the store was not overcrowded. The supermarket staff was distributing small bottles of drinking water for free to people in the lineup. They had fans on the lineup to try and mitigate the heat. And there were lines on the sidewalk where people were lining up to mark out the 1 meter recommended social distancing. The lineup to get in took about 45 minutes, and people, who were all wearing masks, seemed to be quite patient about it. The staff were also offering squirts of hand sanitizer before you entered the store, and disposable plastic gloves. Bread and eggs were back on the shelves. Meat was in short supply, especially chicken breasts. And there was nary a can of pasta sauce to be seen. A few days later, I decided to go to the same chain, Jaya Grocer, but at a larger upscale mall, as I had to pay my phone bill. Digi, the phone provider, claimed to have a store open in the mall. It turned out the store was closed, but that's a story for another day. The only things open were the supermarket and the drugstore, both in the basement. The rest of the mall was closed and deserted. A week after the movement control order was imposed, the supermarkets have it down to a science. Staff are monitoring the queue, which stretched 3/4 of the way around the mall space. The last 1/3 of the queue has green lines on the floor at 1 meter intervals so that people can observe proper social distancing. There are reminder posters in strategic areas. The store was well stocked with almost everything except canned and bottled pasta sauce. There must be a lot of Malaysians eating pasta these days. The social distancing kind of broke down at the checkout area in part due to the layout of the store. People seem to be adapting to the new conditions well, which is a good thing, as the government just announced an extension of the lockdown until the 14th of April. The government has added further restrictions, such as hours of operation for various types of businesses. Private cars may only have one person, the driver, in them. Taxis are only permitted to carry one passenger, who must sit in the back seat as far away from the driver as possible. Social distancing has been increased to 1.5 meters. So far, masks are not mandatory, but they are strongly suggested. Everyone seems to be wearing them in public. The government has set the retail price at a maximum of 1.5 ringgit, about 35 cents US each per mask. The panic at the supermarket has subsided as food supply returns to near normal. As I was putting the finishing touches on this video, the Malaysian government announced another extension of the movement control order until the 28th of April 2020. Thanks for watching.